So now I'm just cutting out the sky. And I think I was experimenting with blending two skies together just to see if I could get an interesting kind of look, but I'm not sure if it made it to the final. We'll see. So I've put in a sky and I'm just kind of setting the tone of the main plate that I'm using here, this image. So I just getting the colors to match that sky tone. So this is a remastered edit of the first version that I did a couple of years ago. And so some of the assets I already had all pre-set up, but I'm doing them all again from scratch. So here I'm putting in some cracked up road, and I'm just kind of painting that in over the top just to kind of get it looking seamless. Yeah, and you'll see me adjusting the curves a little here and there just to, if some things just don't look right, I'll go in and readjust them. So yeah, I think I was kind of looking for more assets to lay down to add some more elements or interesting parts to the scene. So yeah, I kind of took one image and I kind of split it, so I kind of put one side in and started painting that in. So I haven't cut anything from this edit. This was like a full edit that was quite long. I think it was like just over 3 hours when it was fully cut in real time, and I didn't cut anything out, so you might see me actually doing things and then like taking it back and like trying different things, and some things I wasn't happy with, so I actually changed it. You'll see that happen quite a bit in this art. Yeah, so I wasn't very happy with the bus. I think I was just like, it was too cliche maybe, or it just didn't fit the vibe. I just was like, oh, this kind of army truck. I really like the feeling in there with the army truck. So you see me using different brushes to kind of paint in the edges of some of that bushland, like kind of a leaves brush, where I kind of paint in the edges of the grass and the trees and things like this, just to get the blending to look. Yeah, so I'm actually using like a grass type brush. And I try a few different brushes, and I'm just actually just painting directly on the mask in this. Yeah, I'm kind of playing around with that mask. Yeah, and you'll see me working on the curves, trying to get that color right. Sometimes when I'm blending assets using curves, yeah, sometimes the saturation is just too much, so I just add a hue saturation layer underneath that curves just to help with the color matching. So yeah, this scene, I've placed a couple of cars around. This one's not super busy in relation to elements in the scene. Some artworks that I've put together, I kind of like cramming in a whole bunch of cars and things and making them detailed. But this one here, I kind of liked that it was like just a couple of vehicles, and I could concentrate more on the lighting and things in a shorter time rather than spending a lot of time on a number of assets. Yeah, so here I'm like playing around with the skyline. I just dropped in like a cityscape that was already pre-cut, like pre-isolated, I think, and I wasn't too worried about the quality of the edges or anything because it's like in the distance, and I kind of blurred the edges anyway, and it's kind of faded out just to do with that lower contrast in the distance, and painted some fog and ambient elements in there just to yeah, sit there in the distance. So here I was kind of, yeah, I like the idea of this kind of tunnel, so I was like painting in the tunnel. And again, yeah, you'll see me use like just on the edges of that mask of the grass of the trees. Yeah, I just start painting in with like a leaves brush, just to get it looking like nice and seamless against that tunnel there. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I set the scene up with like the background and like a main background, and the sky sets the lighting. So I'm not too concerned with getting all the lighting set up in the scene like straight off the bat. Like, so I'm actually just putting all the assets together that I want in the scene before I worry too much about painting all the lighting in. So that's why everything's kind of in shadow at the moment. So now I'm actually, yeah, I see I painted in some sunlight there just with a soft brush. So I was trying to add in some like water going across the road in the distance. In the first version of this artwork, I did have those animals kind of in the water there in the distance. But I can't remember if I think I leave them in this artwork. I think I leave one of them in, actually. So now I kind of wanted to put the water in, and I also did some painting around the edges of that mask that I did of the water, just to kind of make it seem as though the road is kind of, it's sitting in there and it looks like it's really there. So I just painted some reflective elements on the water there. Yeah, I think I just didn't feel like that second one sat well against where I had those trees, the greenery. So just one animal I left. So yeah, you'll see me playing around a lot with positioning of some elements because I was uncertain on how they were kind of fitting in the scene. Yeah, I was just trying to get the lighting of that car to look correct in the kind of the shadow there. So sometimes I start doing that before I actually paint in shadows, but then I think I realized that I couldn't get the look right because there wasn't enough shadows actually under the element, sorry. And once I put that in, you can get a better feel of how it should look in the scene. So you would have just seen there that flash up of that artwork and that soldier. Yeah, that was the original one, and I was just trying to just redoing the artwork because I wasn't super happy with some of the elements in the original one. Yeah, so I was kind of experimenting with where to put that soldier, or if he even should be a soldier. And I think I kind of felt like the soldier just kind of felt really out of place. It was like, if this is kind of like post-apocalypse, I just was like, oh, it's like, why would there be a lone soldier walking around? So I gradually get around to changing him. So now I'm starting to paint in some of the lighting for the scene, starting with like the furthermost elements. And I spend quite a bit of time on this asset that I'm painting on now, those trees that are sitting in that tunnel, because they were an element that actually bothered me in the original artwork, and I kind of felt like it was really hard to isolate those trees just because of the original image that just wasn't the best, and I nearly gave up, but I think I got something to work that I was happy enough with. So now I'm just painting in like a nice warm kind of sunlight, and I think I'm just using a curves adjustment, and I was just painting on that mask. So yeah, here you'll see me kind of messing around with kind of drop shadows and different layer effects just to see if there's just to try and get it to look right. It was just the edges of that element were really kind of bothering me, but I was like determined not to give up on it. Yeah, so now I'm cutting out another tree line to sit behind it. Yeah, and I kind of really like that kind of foggy kind of ambience, especially in these like moody kind of post-apocalyptic images. So I really enjoy painting in like sun rays and ambient smoke and fog in the distance. So you'll see me sometimes switching, like mirroring the artwork. Like I switch it like I do 180 degree switches every so often. It just helps with seeing the light differently in your brain, because sometimes if you leave an artwork and it looks correct and then you flip it, you suddenly notice something that doesn't look quite right. Yeah, it's just something to do with your brain and how it perceives light. You'll see a lot of illustrators use this technique. So when I'm painting that light on the road there, I'm kind of thinking about how it's sitting behind that main tree there, and how it kind of will fall onto the road there, and in that angle. So I kind of liked how that shadow kind of sat there like that. I kind of felt like that kind of worked. Yeah, so that position I have that soldier character in now, I think I was quite happy with that. It kind of sat nicely between those elements of that car and the animal. Yeah, and you'll see, yeah, see again, I'm going back to those trees. I think I do eventually get to a point I was satisfied. Yeah. When you're manipulating light and things in images like this, yeah, like some assets just... the quality can really affect the result that you're looking for sometimes in some of the images, so... but like I said, I was determined not to give up. So I thought I'll paint some light behind it and I'll paint some light in front of it just to kind of hide some of the blemishes and imperfections, so that it's not like when you look at the artwork it's just kind of standing out. So now I'm just kind of painting some detail, like hand-drawn lines on some of the elements. I really kind of like that hand-drawn look that adds detail to the images and it adds your own personal flair, I suppose. Yeah, I think I felt like that car in the front, like in the foreground, it wasn't contrasted enough, so I think I pushed up the contrast. Yeah, so like I'm painting in some like ambient kind of fog dust behind that car there. And painting in some more dust in the distance. So you'll see me using the erase tool a lot. Like I'll paint in a lot of what I paint in, I'll use the erase tool to then erase parts of it. Yeah, I think I was deciding what to do with the soldier. So yeah, then I thought, no, I'm gonna paint. I'm just gonna, instead of trying to find a new character or assets, I just was like, oh, I'm just gonna paint over it. I was trying to paint away some of that army camo that was left behind, those colors. Yeah, and so obviously I didn't like the helmet. That had to go. This has to be a normal dude. So I had to change the head. Yeah, and then I was adjusting some more colors and adjusting the blending, painting in the light. And now the feet. Feet can be challenging, but you always kind of look at the ground that they're standing on and like what color it is and how the light's reflecting. That will help you to get the light correct on their feet. So originally, I'm not sure if I had water in here or not, but I was experimenting with like adding like green, like a very bright green kind of radioactive type of thing going on in these cracks in the road. And I was, yeah, really just experimenting to see if it like looked how it looked in the scene. And I think I just wasn't happy with that idea. So I quickly just, yeah, went back to the other idea of just having that water running, I think running in from up ahead near that tunnel and running, yep, so I'm just painting that in from that, on that mask. Yeah, and then I'm just adjusting the shadows. I think I even then, yeah, fixed the colors that were on that original sunset there, because obviously that would not be correct.